Okay, so I'm talking today to a client that I worked with, Lisa Salvatore. I like to say she's my favorite, although all my clients are favorite, but she's one of my faves. And I think, Lisa, that you have something really important to talk about because a lot of the clients that I've talked about, they come to me for something, we work through something, and then it seems to be over with. But with you, there's been different things that we've worked with, and now you're probably, I would say, in one of the most life-changing times of your life ever. Would
I'd
you
agree.
disagree? Okay.
I'd agree.
So, well, let's start with the present. So tell us a little bit about your present right now.
My present, I am currently, I guess you would say fighting, although I find that a weird term, but fighting ovarian cancer. Actually, I guess it's fallopian tooth cancer. Um, and it's also, it has metastasized to other parts of my body. So I'm dealing with that. In the middle of treatment. I had chemotherapy, I had surgery, and now they're struggling to figure out the next step because my blood counts aren't reacting as positively to chemotherapy as they did the first time around.
And when we first started working together, none of this was the case. We met at a vision board workshop.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did. It was great.
And so were you looking, like, why a vision board workshop? Was it, you were looking for what the big conversation is about, this whole idea of purpose, or did it just sound fun, or why did you decide to come to a vision board workshop?
I had heard about vision boards. I mean, Oprah has done vision boards, different people have done vision boards. And I think at that time I had a scare of breast cancer. I was worried about something, and I think it had proved to be negative. But I wanted to work on my health. I also have a form of muscular dystrophy called CMT, Charcot-Marie-Tooth, that I have been battling for maybe the past 14 years. So I thought the vision board could help me prioritize, get some health things in order. From a career perspective, I wanted to see if anything would kind of pop up. And I liked the idea that it was combined with some yoga. So I really liked that. It was the combination really attracted me.
And we started working together one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked on a lot of these different things. But I remember very vividly, while we were looking at your form of muscular dystrophy and looking at the health and everything, something that came out of that, I personally remember, was this secret idea of wanting to become a blogger.
Yes. So I felt like I had all these stories pop up every day related to my disability. And they were just simple things about trying to get into a building, or being late for an airplane and how difficult it is when you have a disability, or somebody making comments because you're walking too slow, just different things. And I wanted to blog. I always had journals. I like to write. As I say, though, I'm not a professional writer. I never took journalism or anything like that. But I do love to write. So we had talked about it, and you sort of challenged me to start a blog.
And then you just became a blogger,
I
right?
did. I thought you were crazy. I found a friend, though, that could help me with the technical aspect of it, because it's easy now to start a blog. I mean, there's so many different aspects to it, but it was nice to have the help of a friend to sort of set it up. But then it was easy. Then I just was able to, I would write my, blog post, and I tried initially to do maybe 2 a month.
So let me ask you this, because this is kind of a question I ask others. How do you think that you connecting to that helped you in any way? Did it make a difference in your life or not?
It did. It gave me, as you would say, it gave me joy. I like people. It connected me to people. I would have people come up to me at church or at work or in different settings that I didn't even know had read the blog. Would say a comment or that it connected with them. Um, so it just felt really good, and I accomplished something. Like if there were periods where I felt down, like I wasn't accomplishing stuff at work or things weren't going right with my daughter, or I felt that way, getting the blog published was like, oh, I accomplished something and I got that out there. So it felt really good. And it felt like I had a voice. I had something to say.
So was there any other takeaways when we first started working together in yoga therapy, any tools that you worked on and continue to use daily that have in some way improved your life?
So one of the first things you had taught me was the 5-star stance, like to, really be confident, and to say affirmations, to do it with affirmations. And it helps with my balance. It helps me feel strong with my openness. And I do different affirmations every day. So I have used that off and on for the past couple of years. Sometimes I put it away, but like recently with the stuff going on with the cancer, it's just a really good way to start my day. So as I say, it's a little toolbox you've given me with different, meditations or that stand. Yoga Nidra is another one. When we talked about that, there's a Yoga Nidra video that you had given me, or a recording a couple of years ago, and then I lost it. And I was like, I need that one. That's the one I want. And it was from 3 years ago. So it's another meditative, kind of goes through the whole body. And I really started focusing on that recently with the cancer. So again, I pulled it out of my little toolbox, my little yoga therapy toolbox.
So this is kind of a loaded question. A lot of people consider the words healed equivalent to cured. And since your cancer journey, and anybody's journey on anything, it's really important to understand the difference between being healed and being cured. Healed is much more of a comprehensive, overall encompassing the 5 layers of koshas of the body. Curing usually just has to do with this idea of just the physical body. So you can be healed and not cured. You can be cured and not healed. So now that you started working on this a couple years ago and using yoga therapy in different ways for different things, then you were diagnosed with this fallopian tube cancer. Let me ask you, do you feel that yoga therapy has failed you in some way for this happening to you? Or is there some letdown there? Because I worry about that we don't always understand the difference. So do you feel like it's helping you heal in any way, or do you feel let down by it? And you can be very honest.
I don't feel let down by yoga therapy. It's kind of like saying I feel let down by my faith. And we've been talking about, getting closer to the source, getting closer to my faith, which is Catholic, and being closer to God and Jesus. So, I don't blame yoga therapy. I don't blame God. It's kind of what has happened. And I think it is a learning experience. And I pray for both, and I affirm for both healing and a cure. So I do understand both. I had gone to a healing mass, and I had talked to a priest, and he even said the same thing. You pray and you put it out there, and God may just heal your heart or heal your soul, or may heal you physically. You just don't know what the plan is. I pray for both, and I work towards both in my faith and in yoga therapy, and understanding, kind of the different layers and the different sources that things can kind of get out of balance.
So how do you feel that yoga therapy then is helping you to heal during this process?
Well, recently we've expanded, or you've expanded, and we've gone through those layers of the body, like the spiritual layer, understanding that connection to your source. So I've been really focusing on my faith, your belief systems. What do you believe in? What is important to you? And some of those other pieces, and just putting them together and really feeling like that whole person, understanding who I am, setting up boundaries, making myself stronger. And I think I'm doing that both physically and mentally, so that then I can take care of myself, and hopefully that will help take care of curing the cancer and healing myself to help me grow in different aspects of my life.
Yeah. So would you recommend yoga therapy to people?
I would. They just have to know, it's kind of shifted through the years, and I've done different pieces of it. So we started off with some physical work, really with the muscular dystrophy, doing some balancing stuff, doing some things to kind of work my legs and my hips and different things. Then we almost went into sort of life coaching pieces when I did another program with you. This latest one was much more around kind of yoga principles and practices. So I think it's coming to you and saying what you want out of it. But you are very intuitive and gifted. So I think you're able to also ask the right questions to help somebody figure out what they really are looking for. Like, they may come to you with one thing, but it kind of shifts in the process.
It always does, right? Which I think is fascinating.
Yeah. So I would definitely recommend it.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, thank you so much for sharing this portion of your journey. And do you want to tell people, since we're chatting about it, the name of your blog?
Sure. I haven't written in it in a couple months, but I do have 2 topics that are coming up. So I should be updating it soon. But it's findingabilities, all one word.com. So you can check it out.
Yes, findingabilities.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Lisa.
Thank you, Kristal.